Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my channel, Learn Math with Sayyid Ali. Since we are facing COVID-19 pandemic and we are helping to reduce the spread of COVID-19 coronavirus, we are isolating at home to avoid spreading illness to others, and I have started this channel just to provide some educational material to the kids. Today we will be covering a topic called percentage. So what percentage is? Percentage is a number or ratio expressed as a fraction of 100, So be mindful and take this definition, keep it in your head for a longer time because it will be used in our daily life as well and in high school, and then if you choose certain educations like in engineering or chemistry or chemical engineering, it will be all along with you. So percentage is a number or ratio expressed as a fraction of 100. The sign for percentage is this, which you can see on the on your calculator as well, on your keyboard as well. This is the sign. So an oblique line and with two dots, and abbreviation is PCT, or sometimes we write it as PC, percentage, right? So sometimes we write only PCT and or PC. This is the abbreviation for percentage. So it is a ratio expressed as a fraction of 100. Percentage is dimensionless number, so it has got no dimension. It is just giving us a sense that how much out of 100 or as a fraction of 100. For example, 25% means 25 divided by 100. So as a fraction of 100, right? What we said, we have the same example, right? So 25 divided by 100 is 25%. Or in decimal, if we divide 25 with 100, we get 0.25. So that means these all three relationship in mathematics, which is like percent or then decimal. So these are the three basic things which we are learning and relating today. So let me write it clean. Decimal, right, and fraction. So when we talk about these three things, these are three basic things in math. Percentage, this is this oblique line and a two dot, decimal and fractions. So if something is given, as we said here, 25% means 25 divided by 100. For example, we have 57%. So 57% means 57 divided by 100, right? Divided by 100 as a fraction of 100. And if we divide this, we can get the decimal. If we divide, actual divide, right? So if we divide 57 divided by 100, is it passing? No, it's not passing. Table of 100 is not passing in 57. So we have to put a decimal and take a 0 down, right? And then we see that now how many times it is passing. So 100 times 5 is 500. And then we subtract. Then we have left over 70. And then since we have decimal here, we have the liberty to have another 0 in front of 70 to make it 700. So 100 times 7 is 700, and you can see here that no remainder here, and we get 0.57. So that means there is a relationship, right? So what is that relationship? So if we want to convert it into fraction, we have to multiply it with 100. So if we have anything like 0.60%, right? 0.60%. What is in decimal? It's in decimal, sorry. So this is in decimal, right? 0.6 is in decimal, or 0.60 is the same thing. So when we multiply it with 100, we get the percentage. When we divide it with 100, we get the fraction, right? So here we have to say what percent is it? It is 60%, right? So we can say 60%. And 60% means 60 divided by 100, right? So you have to give it a try. If I say, okay, if 3 by 4 is given here, so you have to convert this 3 by 4, express it as decimal and in percent. So for decimal, I already told you that for actual division has to be happen. So 3 divided by 4. So is it passing? No, it's not passing. So we have to put the decimal, and in lieu of a decimal, we have to bring a 0 here, so that now it is passing. 4 times 7 is 28. Then we subtract, and we already have decimal there, so we have we are allowed to put a 0 here, and then we say 4 times 5 is 20, and then we subtract and remainder is 0. So what we get? 0.75. So 3 by 4 is a fraction, 3/4, right? And that turns out to be 0.75. And what is that percent? Multiply the decimal thingy with 100, you will get the percent. So this is 75%. So 75% means 75 divided by 100. 75 divided by 100 means if you actual divide it, right, you can get 0.75. Or if you cut it with a certain table, like if you divide it by 25 in the numerator, 25 in the denominator, so with the same table you have to put in the numerator and term, not with the other table, right? 25, then 25. 25, 3 is a 75, 25 times 4 is, so you got back this when you simplify that fraction. So that you have to relate all these 3 mathematical functions like percent, decimal, and fraction. Hope you understand this. Now we take another example in this percentage example. So this question which I am going to do here now is several times asked in grade 7, grade 8, or sometimes we have this question in our daily life. Somebody come to you and say, oh, I got 65 marks out of 80, right? So I got, let's say I got 75 marks out of 80. What is my percent? I got 75 marks out of 70. Express this as percent. Or he's saying that, okay, what is my percentage, right? Express this as percent. And what we define as percent is that percent is a number or ratio expressed as a fraction of 100. And here you can see that 75 marks and 80 marks. Expressed as percent means we are asking that if it would be 100 marks question, how much you could get. You got 75 marks out of 80, or maybe 65 marks out of 80. 75 is 65 marks out of 80. So you can do it in 2 ways, as we did in our last lecture, right? That one thing is that you can state the expression, unitary method. Out of 80, you got, what you got? 60 marks. And unitary means out of 1, what you will be saying. Always this thing go and sit in the denominator, right? Out of 1. If the paper was on 1 mark, you will be getting 60 over 80. But now the question is that if the paper was of 100 marks, so out of 100, you got, how many marks you got if it is a paper of 100 marks? So 60 times 100 divided by 80, and we have to simplify this narration. 0 cancel with 0, right? And then 2 4s are 8, 2 5s are 10, and then you can cut this by 4 1s are 4, 15 times 4 is 60, 15 times 5 is 75. So if it would be 100 marks paper, then your percent is 75. But it was not 100 marks question. You got out of 80, 65. That means your percentage is 75%. Another way of doing it is that 65 is to 80. You make this arrangement of the ratio, right? 65 out of 80. So we don't know the marks if it would be 100 marks question. Out of 80, 65. Out of 100, we don't know. So now we express that as a ratio. 65 divided by 80 is equals to x divided by 100. and we cross multiply next step to make it a linear equation. So we say x times 80 is equals to 65 times 100, right? So here, oh, okay, I made this question as 60, so make it 60. So I will make it 60, right, all through. So okay, I will make it 60, whatever. I make a mistake, I said 65 and in the question I put 60 for easier cut maybe. So again, 60 is to 80 is equals to x is to 100, right? So now we have to say 60 divided by 80 is equals to x divided by 100. Next step is to make it linear by multiplication, cross multiplication. We will say x times 80 is equals to 60 times 100, right? 60 times 100. And what we need to do, we need to calculate x. What 80 is doing here, it's being multiplying on the one side of the equation. If we want to transfer it to the other side, it will sit as a division or divisor, right? And it will be in the denominator. And then it's the same thing which we need to cut. We cut it over there as well. So 10 times 8 is 80, 10 times 10 is 100. You can cut either way, right? 2 4s are 8, 2 5s are 10, 4 1s are 4, and 15 times 4 is 60. So 15 times 5 is 75. So again 75%, right? So anyway, you can solve it by the unitary method or by the proportion, ratio and proportion. So you can, hope you can get it. And if I give you a quick question, you can solve it at your own as a practice question. So Ahmad got 8 marks out of 9 marks. What is his percentage? What is his percentage of marks? So hopefully you do it by yourself. If not, you can comment in the comment section. I will solve it in the next video. So hopefully you like it, and if you like it, subscribe my channel, press the bell icon button to receive another video. Thank you for watching.